Okay, so let's go ahead and cover our album. Now, this is going to seem backwards to you, but I want to tell you about what we're going to do with this a little bit differently. So first of all, these are my front and back covers, and what I wanted to show you is how I put the score tape on. So I always add extra score tape on the outsides of my cover because that's where you have a lot of tension with, you know, your hook and eye system and everything. So when you turn it over, I put score tape all the way around, and I have 3 rolls of score tape on the outside and then just throughout that. So again, there's extra score tape here, and when you look at this one, there's extra score tape here. Okay? Typically, I put these on first, and then I put this on here. Today, I'm going to actually do it backwards. I'm going to put this on here because I'm going to be using this large lace, and I want to follow my paper, and so I'm going to do that backwards. So let's go ahead and do that. And wish me luck. Now, when you, and I learned this from Frances from your book of memories, when you put your score tape on, I do it horizontal, and that has really helped a lot when you put it on. So we are going to take all of our score tape off. This is the part you have to be really careful when you're doing this. You cannot leave your book laying flat when you put it all the way down, otherwise it won't close properly because there'd be no give in your spine paper. Again, this is the decorative paper. It's the peacock, the black peacock, and it's heavier and it doesn't quite rip. It doesn't rip like regular, it's not like regular paper, so it's heavier. Okay, so I have about 1 inch on each side, but I don't have to be perfect with this the way I'm doing it. So I'm going to go, and I'm only going to adhere the sticky tape to this. So be careful about not to set it down all the way, otherwise I could be in deep trouble. And I should have put glue on there, and I did not. So I'm going to kind of maneuver it with my fingers, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around that corner. Just get it wrapped around there, and I'm just going to massage it down there. And then keep going. Massage it down there. And I didn't have to have it exact on each side because my big paper is going to cover it. And normally I do that differently, although this is working really good, so it might be something I want to do. So I'm going to really burnish that down. And when you open it up slowly, you're going to have that little bit of a, push it down gently with your bone folder. You can go into the grooves and let the score tape adhere to it. Wow, that was pretty good. That was really good. I just kind of massage it down there with my hands. That's really good. Again, we're just going to... Your book's not going to be open flat like this. So, all right, look at that. Sweet. Okay, we can go ahead then and put, and we want to do this before we put our binding strips in because it makes it easier. Okay, so now let's take all these strips off and put our front and back covers on. I don't want to decorate them yet, but I want to get these pieces of papers on them. And I am going to put glue around these, so in case I don't put it on right, I'll have a little bit of an adjustment period that I can do. So just going around the score tape, remember that will help me if I have to make an adjustment. And then scribble, scribble, scribble. Okay, so I want this about 1/8 of an inch away. I'm trying to match up my decorative paper. Usually this is on top of that, but I'm going to, I know for a fact I'm going to put lace down there, so I didn't want to do that. Look at that. Then I have my other one. Oops, didn't burnish that down very well. And almost there. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and get glue around my score tape. So it gives me the ability to move it a little bit if I need to. Okay, remember the 3 goes, make sure. Oh, did I put those on the wrong? You know, I think I put them on the wrong. That's great. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Holy guacamole. I'm just going to give you a teaser. I found this, was left in my scraps, and it says love and joy, but this is lines to write, and this is going to go on the back at an angle. And I thought that was so cool because whoever gets this as a gift, the person that's giving it can write something really cool, or who's ever going to put something in the journal can, in the album, could put something in there. And then, of course, my lime green butterfly or dragonfly is going to go right there in front. And then we'll have our flower stuff on there. So that's going to be later because I don't want to do that right now. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Let's look at the binding. So our binding, again, they're going to be about 1/2 inch away. And so I'm going to come in here with my ruler and I'm going to kind of mark 1/2 inch where that one's going to go. And then 1/2 inch it's hard to see when I'm black. 1/2 inch there. So this one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. And then our middle one, once we get these in, our middle one can just go in between there. Because we will have, okay. So again, they're going to be about 1/4 inch from the bottom. Make sure. And remember, we've notched those edges. You see that? That's easier to put your pages on. Whew, gosh, that was almost a disaster. I dropped that and it could have stuck down. That would have not been cool. Okay, so make sure you get glue on there because it makes it easier in case you don't put this on right the first time, which I've done that. I'm going to do this at 1/4 inch. That helps me keep it straight as well. Just push that down. Okay, now this one is going to go here. And going to hold this up at 1/4 of an inch because I want to make sure I get that. Again, holding the ruler down there, if you are able to do it with your hands, it helps also. It becomes straight. Straighter. Okay. Now our third one is going to go in here, and I'm just going to kind of look because it's going to be about 1/2 inch away from this one. Let's just take a peek. Would that look good? We did that right there. Yep. Okay. I love this binding system. I love having it separate. There's not as much torque on the whole piece when you do that, but to me it's also easier to get your pages in straighter, and you know about that already. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of use this to help me get it in straight. And look there, it looks great. Super. Look at that. So our binding system is now in place. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, look at that. All right, let's just set that aside for a minute. And we are going to work on our inside cover, which has a lot of pieces to it. So let me just kind of remind you what it looks like. Get all my pieces out of here. I guess I did use all my magnets. 5 sets. It has a little flap, a bigger flap, a pocket, and then a tab here. So we got a lot going on. Okay. So here's our base, which is 7 by 8.5. And let's go ahead and our tab. Where is my tab? We're going to put our tab on first. And the tab is going to, actually I'm going to run the tab around. I'm actually running around the back. So let's go ahead and put the pocket on. Doing our pocket just like we do everything else. Long side first. And then our short sides. And where's my plastic piece? Here it is. Okay. Then we're going to take our side flap, and it is 6.5 by 8.5. We're going to score at 5.5 and 5 3/8. Now, I lied. We're going to put this one on first. And this is important that this one goes on first. I know that seems backwards, but this one's going to go on first. So we're going to center that on there. And this one has that 1/4 inch gusset on this piece. So is my head in the way there? Sorry about that, folks. So I'm just going to center that on there. Now we're going to put this one on. And again, just make sure you get your corners. That belt. Sweetness, sweetness. Okay. And again, the tab is going to go, and we're going to hook it to, and I'm going to trim, I'm going to just kind of, and on this one, remember you're going to put the glue on the inside because we're going to put it to the back. And we're going to center it to the best of our knowledge. Go right up to that score line. Maybe. Right up to the score line. Give it a good burnish. Good burnish. Okay, did you see what happened to my pin? Great. That, oh, how did it get way the heck over there, you guys? Wow. That is crazy. Excuse me one moment. You know, I have to have a drink. Please note that is not alcohol. Okay. So, this also requires a magnet. Now, what I want you to note is that we're going to put the magnet on after we put the mat down, because I want the magnet close as I can. And if I put the magnet down first, then I would have a mat, and then I would have this, and the magnet would be down a couple layers, and I don't want to do that. So I've also thought about putting the magnet to the back, so I might do that. What do you think? I might do that. Okay, well, we're going to think on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we got for papers to put in here. We have, let's see here, what do we got? So this big honker is going to be for right here. This is 6 by 8 1/4. It's going to go right in there. Look at that. I was making sure I had it right side. Yeah, okay. For a minute there, I thought I had it upside down. I have put things on upside down, and you don't know it until you are at the end and you're gloating over what a good job you did, and then you're like, what? And you're kind of stuck at that time with it there. Okay. Let's get that down. Sorry, I'm going to wrench it on the back here. Okay. I would bet we have our 1.5 by 8 1/4 ivy. And how fun is that? Look at that. Ivy, ivy, ivy. And then, this is something else cool. I am going to put this there. Again, what for? For journaling. Love, love, love that idea. You could also do it this way, but I want it for the journaling. And again, so there will be lots of places to journal in this album. The paper made it for us able to do that. Not cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. And then this is, again, you could use this side, but I have chosen to use this side because I thought you could put a photo right here. It says beauty is in the little things, and you could put your photo right there. That's what I thought. So I specifically cut this to make that happen. Okay. Now, before we go any farther, Let's make a decision. Let's put the magnet on this side. So we want to make sure, let's see if it's going to be able to happen. This last magnet we'll have left will be for our waterfall. Okay. If I put this in a thumb's width, will it still fit? Yes. Okay. Or not a thumb's width. I can't even believe I just said that. A finger width away. So let's do that. Of course, we're going to get our score tape. Maybe if I can find it. And we're going to put a score tape over our magnet. And then a piece on each side. And make sure it doesn't go over. Okay. Oops. Yeah. What, Bonita, Bonita. People think I can speak Spanish because my name's Bonita. I cannot. My husband and I go to Mexico and they go, oh, Bonita. And they talk to me like I can speak Spanish. See, that's going to be super duper 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 close. Duper close. Don't like that. Don't like that, Sam. I am. Too close. So I am going to move my magnet. Move this over. I'm going to try that. I'm just going to score tape it down. And I have another trick up my sleeve that I'll tell you about. Okay, that's better. So that's going to go right there. And we're going to score tape that baby down. Score tape this side. Score tape this side because it will be fine. And this one I'm going to actually score tape the tab at that end. Okay, so now we are going to be able to put our mat down. Okay, gotta be careful because the magnet's there. And then, you know, pay attention to how you want this. I think it goes this way, folks, with this line up here. You know, again, whoever receives this album, you could put their name on there. You know, it's pretty cool. These are both, again, in our stuff it says, they said trimmed to 4 1/4. I just wanted to not have to cut another chunk off for my puzzle piece for you guys. So let's come over here and finish this one. And we're going to get our glue on there, and then we're going to get our mat. These mats are 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. And that is because I matched the size of the piece that came, that I put on the front. Make sure that sticks really good right there. Where the magnet's at. Okay. Okay, so then we have the one in the back. So you can choose, I'm going to choose this one for the back. And it says to trim to 4 1/4. Just make sure that's right. So we'll go ahead and trim this one to 4 1/4. Sticky notes out of the way. We need to ink these a little bit, you guys. just ink these a little bit. That's what's nice if you work on a page at a time, but then you like prep all your inking and all that stuff, then it's kind of fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this one down here. Okay. And this one's going to go on here. But remember, we're going to do this little trick just to make sure, and we're going to put this is score tape right there. Score tape is your friend. Score tape to us crafty people is kind of like duct tape to people that have, I don't know, my husband uses duct tape a lot. He used to. He doesn't so much anymore, but he used to. But duct tape solves everything. Score tape solves a lot of stuff. Okay. And then we're just going to put that right on there. Make sure that gets closed tight. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. That is so incredible. Okay. So now, guess what we can do? We can put this in our album. So guess what we have to do? We're going to score tape around here. Score tape around. I should have had a score tape, sorry. Oh, I couldn't because I wanted to put that flap in there. But this is fun. It's, you know, typically I have my envelope closure, and this time I thought, you know, let's do something different. And so I tried to do some flips and flaps. Flips and flaps, that's kind of what I call them. And let's put a couple down. I always love it because a roll of score tape usually lasts me through one album, and that I feel pretty good about that. In my old days when I used score tape for everything, it took me 2 or 3 rolls. Okay, so this is going to set right inside like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so let's get all, you know what, did I burnish this down? I don't know if I did or not. You want to burnish this down because you want to make sure it's good on there. Okay. Let's get our score tape off. You know, it looks to me it takes about 4 to 6 videos for me to do my stuff. I hope that's okay. I hope that's that's working out for you guys. I like to have, you know, again, I like to stay between an hour and a half because we all get tired, first of all. But if you have to stop and rewind, when you get past an hour and a half, it just is a lot to go look for in a video. Sometimes I will note times when I'm actually only on my own videos I do that. But okay, let's make dang sure that our album is right side up because, yeah. And we're just going to center that in here. And we have liftoff. Houston, we have liftoff. So I am going to open this up so I can burnish this down. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. I do not have the excuse me. I do not have this to be ready yet, so that's going to be in another section. But what I wanted to tell you is these strips from what we did from our back piece is going to go right on there. And what I'm trying to decide is whether I should make them the same height as the score or the waterfall or not. I haven't really decided yet. Look at that. But what I can do is we can put our pages in. So let's go ahead and put our pages in, because that will then take up the time for this tutorial, and then we should have maybe one more, maybe two, but one more that we'll be able to put the waterfall in and then decorate your album. So, okay. So I've got my pages right here. And when we did our pages, remember, whoops, this one I did not. This one I have to get my 3/8 inch tape. Sorry about that, folks. I like to use 3/8 inch tape when I put my first piece down. And remember on our, what did I do with my score? My bone folder. We have on our binding pieces, we have that score line. And that score line is where these pieces actually lay down. I like to start backwards. And so we're going to, well, we can't start with number 2. We can't go backwards because my easy pages don't have this. Okay, so we first of all need a white piece of paper to help guide through this because we want to be able to see. So let me get this stuff out of the way. And our goal is, again, we're going to put this page on right up to that score line, and we're going to do our best to get it straight. That did not work, Bonita. Okay, so we are going to remove this score tape. And we are, yes, going to use glue because we definitely want to be able to maneuver it. Put that paper in there, and we're going to go right up to that 1/2 inch score line. And we're going to hopefully have that straight. So I'm going to take this out and take a peek. Does it look straight? It sure does. Give it a good press. Look straight that way. Will not. It's a little crooked. Little crooked. And we're just going to leave that as it may. Did I get that? This is the beauty, is because I had glue in there. It allows me to take this up. This is a good thing because I had glue on there. It's going to allow me to do that. So for some reason, we are just a tad bit crooked. So I'm not sure why we are ending up crooked. Let's try to put it on like this. is better. I think that is better. That's why you want to put glue on your stuff so you can maneuver it. It's this top piece that's, okay. Okay, so now we do not want even pages, so now we want page, I forgot to write on here, but so again, our goal is to do that. Gosh, these are so beautiful. So, so, so beautiful. Whoops, gosh, you guys, I didn't put the lid back on my glue. That's to my sister. Thank you. Love you, Becky. I did it one-handed and I did it quickly. I should be using a piece of cardstock because this white paper is typing paper and it's not doing too hot. Okay, so press it down. I'm struggling. I think my binding strip was on crooked, which is why, again, when you do the glue, it allows you to maneuver that. There we go. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Okay. So each of your binding strip could be in there a different way, and so my first one was a little bit off kilter, it looked like, but I was able to maneuver it because I put glue on there, and because I have that 1/2" gusset, you can actually end up getting your pages look straight. If you do the binding system that's all hooked together and it's crooked, all your stuff is going to be crooked. You're not going to be able to. It's hard to do it, and that's why I quit doing it that way. That's totally why I quit doing it. And that's why I use this system. Because it works better. Okay, doing good, doing good. Moving right along, little doggy. I love, as you put these pages in and as I forget what they look like, oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. This is an absolute must-make album for positive sure. Stick it down. Yeah, that one's good. That one is really good. We're number 9. When you have that gusset, it allows you to also like fix some errors when they're not straight. Cool, cool, cool. And 11. I usually go backwards, so I'm thinking, am I gluing the wrong piece? Good. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that set for just a second before I start maneuvering my pieces. I have to run do something, so hang on. We're just going to let that set there for one moment. Okay. Okay. So we're almost wrapped up for this one. We're just going to put our other pages on. And so remember when we do these, we're going to line them up to here, not down here. Again, that's the beauty of this system. So since I've been doing this system this way, my album pages go together so much nicer and easier. So again, I've glued around the perimeter and one down the middle, or taped. And so I'm going to, super important, folks, super important, that we glue all the way around so we can maneuver that tape down the middle, and then yepper, we're going to scribble. Okay. Now, again, we're going to line up the corners of both of these. On the top. Don't worry if it doesn't match up down here. It's super important out here is where it's important. Okay. Moving on. Okay. I like using the glue with the tape. Tape will be a little bit stronger, but the glue in the moment helps you maneuver it. Glue all the way around, all the way around. Get a scribble. And we're going to match up the edges. Perfect. Always make sure your page is the right side up because that would be disaster. Disaster. Deadly disaster. I won't do a full tutorial on how I'm going to decorate with the flowers. I will just show you what I end up doing because that's not really a tutorial, just the placement of them, and you can see just by looking. And so the flowers are gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And we'll put a little bit of lace here and there. Okay, my envelope one. I love this one. Love it. Let's get our glue around here. Sorry if my head gets in the way. I've got to put something there to hold that. And whoops. You know, it's really funny when I go back and listen to my videos. It's funny when you think something, but you say something else. In your mind, you're saying the right thing, but your voice is saying something different. Oops, I've got that going off just a tad bit. Again, I'm going to have tags in there. Tags and tags. Okay, I think we are on our last page. We're on our last page, and then we're going to maneuver them, and then we're going to call it good. I have to take the tape off these. And one last page, and it's spectacular. I think my mom's going to love this album too. Okay, so let me put the lid on my glue here. Down. Okay, I'm going to go backwards because this is drier. So what we need to do now is we need to maneuver our score line. So we're just going to go back and forth like that to get them to work. So like that. Checks, you're going to have to wait a minute, like that. Scale that holds it flat. Like that. Like that. Makes it go flat. Make sure you grab the whole page system. See how nice and flat that lays? Like that. Like that. That's what this half-inch gusset does for us. Like that. And like that. And there you go. Is that not awesome or what? Okay, so that is where we're going to end up today. And I'm not sure if I can wrap it up with one more video, but we'll sure give it a shot. So we have got our front cover put on, this decorative paper on the spine. We have our inside front cover done. We have our pages in. We have our waterfall to put together and our decorations. So great. So see you real soon. Hello everybody, we are ready to start our last piece of the album, and that will be our waterfall. So as you see, I have my two sets ready to go. They're all cut out, put in the right order, 3/8 inch strips. Want to make sure that you have them in the right order so that you can make sure you get them on there right. So I went ahead and I put my first piece on. That's the top of the waterfall. Excuse me, like I'm trying to get in focus here a little bit. Sorry, you guys. And down here in the bottom, I've put my piece in here. That's our pocket. And then this piece right here, because I am taking this 3/8 inch strip and I want it to show all by itself, and I want it to continue on in the cut. So I just took this extra little piece here in my scraps. Remember, we had a few bit of scraps left that you can use, and this is one of them. And this is about 7/8 of an inch wide, or excuse me, tall strip. So we did that. So let's go ahead and let's put our strips right on here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strips. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go ahead and start with that, and I'm going to start with the top one, and that's, again, you have to pay attention so you know how your stuff is going to orientate. And I'm just going to lay this right down on there. Get that in place and just kind of push it down with your fingers. This is my very favorite part of the album. These, I don't know, I call it my magic waterfall, my trademark. It's really cool how, again, you always, waterfalls are meant to hold photos. And why would you go and waste a whole piece of decorative paper on there? You're going to put a 4x6 photo in there. So I don't even put white paper in there because then it makes it heavier. So we just leave them black, just like, or whatever color of cardstock you're using for your album. And that makes it pretty cool. And this gives that great illusion. I always try to find some cool pieces. You don't have to put pictures on here, but that's one of the parts that makes it pretty spectacular. I'm just going to go do that. Gosh, we're almost done with our album. After this, we are going to basically do our decorating. We have just some decorating to do on the front cover, and then again, you have, your leftover pieces, and you've seen in my video how I've made, some photo mats and some tags. So, with a couple pieces that we have left over and with your scraps, you make whatever photo mats you like to do. So there's no right or wrong. And, you should have got some ideas from me. But again, it's totally 100% up to you as to how and what you do with that. We have one last one here for the front. Isn't this cool? Gosh. It is just spectacular. Look at that. Holy moly. Look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, now we have, and remember you need to open these up individually because sometimes they catch. So we're going to open this up. Actually we're just going to open one at a time, and we're going to put these ones on. And again, I'm going to start from the top. And this is going to give us the same illusion. Actually, it's the same dragonfly, but on the other side when you open it. So you're going to put that in there, press it down, get our next one. And these are 3/8 inch strips. They are a little bit tougher to cut. I use my Fiskars cutter that I've been using. It has that wire in there. This is hard to see where that goes because of the black paper. And what we want to be cautious about here is that we get them lined up here on the side. That may need a little bit more glue right there. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of white paper, not all the way through, but there, so I can get the make sure I get them lined up. It's important that you put these in the right order, because if you don't, then you will have a different looking something different looking. You just want to make sure that's lined up. This is so easy. It's just so incredibly easy. I'm glad I figured it out. It saves a ton of paper, especially when we're on a limited paper. Again, I'm always impressed when I can get my albums done. We had 20 pages, 20 papers. We used the front covers, or the front of each of the pack for our front and back cover. So that gives us 2 more. We used a few things off the back, and I'm going to show you in a minute. I used a couple things off some of the remaining pieces of the front. And it's amazing what you can accomplish with using a different thought process. And like, why would I use those pieces, or why would I keep those pieces? And you know, you can really come up with some cool things. Look at that, it's coming together, you guys. Can you see that? Wow, it looks cool on the screen. And then our last one says beauty is in the little things. And it's funny because, again, this is the same for both illusions, but that's okay. I mean, I think we had a rose piece of paper left that you could also, if you so chose. I mean, I think we had this piece of paper right here left. You really could cut this up if you wanted and not use it for mats, and you could have put the rose there. But I, like, again, as we talked before, I love dragonflies and I love lime green, and I got a double whammy here. So, all right, so let's take a peek at this one. Look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Isn't that neat? So when your person, again, we need to close these one at a time because they catch. You want to be really careful about that. So when your person is getting to this album and they get to the waterfall and they look at that and they're like, holy spectacular. And then they start opening it up and they're looking at all the pictures. And again, this holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 photos plus a pocket right here. But when they get opening it up and they look at that and like, oh my gosh, here's another illusion. You can also put paper in between right here in your black pieces. I am not going to do that because really your goal is going to have a 4x6 photo in here, and I do want some black left, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as it is. Okay. Oh shoot, I forgot to put my magnet on. Oh my gosh. Well, we will have a challenge of how we're going to do our magnet because I forgot to put my magnet on right here. I took the round circle and I cut it out by hand, and then I cut with my Cricut, I cut the black circle because what I want is I want this circle attached to here, and I am going to attach my magnet on the back of this circle. I'm going to have to attach my magnet back on here because I forgot to put my magnet on first, and so hopefully that's going to hold. So I am going to actually add a little bit of score tape onto this one because I want this to make sure it's holding really, really well. And we're just going to kind of determine where that's going to go because we want to make sure that we don't get glue on our stuff. I cannot believe I forgot the magnet. Well, you won't because I'll make sure I comment on that, not to put that on. And you know, I do that often, you guys. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to maybe get glue to come out of here. Get glue to come out of here. And when I look at this, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be okay. Isn't that pretty? It's kind of a whammy. And then we are going to put our magnet on here. And I'm just gonna tack it down there for just a second. This is going to be tricky for me, not tricky for you, by the way, because I have to do this differently. Because I messed up, I have to put my magnet on backwards from what you normally would do. So I'm just going to try that for a second. So sorry about the confusion, you guys. I can't believe I did that. But again, you will have your magnets on there because when I record my stuff and then I go back, I make sure that I tell you when I make a mistake. That's the beauty of doing the recordings. So the Microsoft Center, which is not a big deal because it doesn't matter, so we're going to put that there. And we're going to put score tape over that. And we're just going to make sure. There, look at that. Isn't that cool? And I will just put a photo mat right here, or maybe you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put journaling right here. I'm going to put a journaling right there. There you go. So then what we would do is we have to put our other circle on there. So let me just get some score tape on here. So what I wanted to tell you is these pieces right here, these were pieces from the front cover. Remember we had those, strips, and that's what I used for these. So again, keep in mind that all those pieces from Stamperia are really cool. This circle I cut out with my Cricut because I only used 2 of the circles that we had in the product, and so I needed another circle. So I took this, and again, this is from the front cover, and I just cut that out and I kind of centered it in there. So I did a really good job. Very proud of myself. So let's go ahead and close this up. So we're going to get our glue on here. And this doesn't really have us upside down, right, whatever. So we're just going to make sure that that's in there good. Let's get that glue out of the way for a minute. And voila, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to do for this is we're going to actually put this in our album. So I'm going to go to the back page. These are those 2 strips that we took off the back page of our packet, and I actually cut them 8.5, and I was trying to be really tricky because I wanted them to be the same size as my waterfall, and I did. It's off a little bit here in the bottom, but I'm just gonna kind of put it in between there. Look at how gorgeous that is. Wow. Okay, so on here, I went and I used 3/8" tape. This needs to be really adhered because this is a lot of pictures going on into it. You really want it adhered. So I put my 3/8" tape all the way around and 2 in down. So let's take off that tape. My garbage is in a different space right at this moment, so I'm getting hooked with my, look at this, look at all the strings and all that stuff in there from putting this album together. Isn't that crazy? Uh-oh, I forgot my sparkle. That's probably why I forgot the magnet. I didn't have my magic bracelet on. Okay, remember, this is so important to use your glue so you don't have to panic and lay it down first, the right shot. As you can see, I had put my tag on down here, the tab, then I put the score tape over it because you need to make sure that you have that score tape over that as well. Okay, so I am just going to center this on there. Give that a good press down, and I put my glue away. Look at that. Look at that, folks. And there you have that beautiful waterfall. All right, we have one more tutorial left, and we're gonna wrap up covering up, decorating the front and back cover and doing the embellishments and stuff inside. So I will be back for the last one. Thank you.